could be the same individuals that are, stealing packages, and this is during the day. And with also a special attention on 1025 17th Street. If we have individuals that have been observed in that, and I'll be reaching out to the landlord to make him aware of that problem.
Is it a vacant home?
It's not vacant, it's a 4-unit, but they're using the hallways to indulge in drug activity. So don't let anyone talk you into going someplace else and find you. Once you find the setup.
That's the place to be.
My name is Timothy. I live on Owen Place between West Virginia and Montello. And there appears to be a significant amount of sex workers and sex working. Meaning, like, literally, I saw it on my way over here in terms of people that I think. And in the alley between my house and Penn, I basically walked out and 3 times when the weather was warmer, saw people fornicating right, literally like in my backyard. I don't know, like, I know this seems like a very difficult thing in terms of like you have to catch people in the act or whatever, but can you tell me like what's going on with that?
We actually have a prostitution unit. It's out of NSID. It's not a patrol unit, but what they do is usually in the summertime they operate. I know I'm not sure about their how their winter operations are, but I can always find out. They'll come to different pockets of the city where they know they're going to see the prostitution, because they do sting operations over in this area. I'm 100% positive of it, but they usually come out and they'll do the operation and they'll get a lot of bodies. Those people who get out and still do it though, that's basically their work. So they're 365 basically, and what's happening, at least what we're seeing is, we'll come out, we'll lock them up for it. They'll either move to another pocket of the city to do it, or give it like a month or 2 and come back out on the street. So what I can do is I can see if I can get my lieutenant to get in contact with NSID and let them know that basically the area is getting out of control again with this, the prostitution. And that Trinidad, West Virginia, Mount Olivet area is known for it. So
It's a hard one. I think so when NSID goes out, they actually there has to be a transaction. They have to exchange something where they have to agree upon a transaction for us to arrest them. And understand that being arrested for a career criminal is not a deterrent. It's a minor inconvenience, especially in DC. So for a patrol officer to arrest somebody like that, they would physically have to see the action occurring, or see genitalia. So it's, as far as arresting them for prostitution, it's really difficult for a patrol officer.
And I want to thank you all for the extra police presence at the Starburst Plaza. It's been very calm, and we like it that way. I actually removed a pair of shoes suspended in one of the trees that indicates that drug transactions are being conducted there, so they don't have that signpost there. So keep up the great work.
There was, I think the end of January, my neighbors and I woke up to police tape strapped around our yard from Montello all the way, Montello in Florida all the way up to Moores. Now, I was told that someone was stabbed on Florida Avenue and walked up to Moore Street, but he didn't want to identify anybody at the time, so they did take him to the hospital. But you know anything about that?
I vaguely remember it.
It was a Sunday game.
Yeah, I vaguely remember it. I do know that the victim, he made it and everything like that. But from what I remember of the case, he wanted the medical attention, but not the police attention. So most likely in those cases, it means he knows exactly who stabbed him, but I guess when you're in a certain environment in neighborhoods, you don't really want to be seen working, in conjunction with the police, because then you'll be labeled a certain thing. So I believe it's still under investigation, but we don't have a lot to go on. Because the area in which he was stabbed, it's no cameras, it's nothing but his word.
And so there was another incident incident where someone was shot, I believe, on 8th Street, but they ended up on the 1400 block on Moore Street.
That was a Saturday through there
In the
today.
middle of the day,
At
12:30.
Yeah. That's kind of concerning.
It's extremely
Yeah, the
concerning.
whole area blocked off, Fox tape, cops on every block.
And when was this?
Saturday.
It was a
Saturday.
it was a 1D incident.
It was a 1D
Because it
incident.
didn't happen in Fifth District.
Oh, okay.
But-
Because usually, I know it's sad, it sounds sad that I don't know much about it, but like, you know.
It may have been
I
a
was
one day
there.
incident, but it, you know, he traveled from 8th Street to, the 1400
So
block.
he was running and maybe not knowing he was shot yet, and then was like, oh, wait, I've been hit.
Should be running the other
Okay.
direction.
And then there was
Makes
this,
sense.
another incident recently, with the shooting at Starburst Plaza. Anything about that?
There was no.
With the shooting at Starburst Plaza?
There was no shooting at Starburst Plaza.
Yeah, that would have been a thing, because it's usually, you'll see an officer, usually, especially on evening shift, always in that area. If it's Rose Lick or Starburst Plaza, you'll see either a mountain bike guy, a car guy, or something of that nature. We've even talked Metro, even though it's not really their property. They'll even come out and hang out around that general CVS area, just because it's a high crime area, and we know what's going on over there. So we try to saturate it as much as possible. So I don't think we had a shooting.
Okay.
Oh, I know we did not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this
Okay,
came
thank you.
up last night, right? And I think you
Yeah, we
determined
addressed it
that
last
somebody was disseminating false information.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, do you know where the
Yeah.
Oh,
information
that would
came?
be me, I think, she was addressing me. Hi, first of all, thank you very much for your guys' work. We're new to this area about a year, a little bit over a year, and we've only had very positive experiences with the PD here. It's not false information. I also have a huge problem with the fact that we're differentiating half a block here and there. Starburst, the 7-Eleven, Moore Street, all of those areas are in extremely close proximity to our neighborhoods next to us adjacent. I do not believe it's disseminating false information to let our neighbors know about violent crime happening in our neighborhood at 12:30 in the afternoon, when children are walking around the street, when women are walking their kids, when fathers are walking their kids to soccer practice. That is unacceptable to me, and I frankly take issue with you saying it's a 1D issue or another district or another precinct issue. I'm sorry, this is our community, we share it with others, and it's extremely important that this doesn't happen. And I think trying to distract from it by accusing people of doing things like that is completely unacceptable and irresponsible, so I don't appreciate that.
Again,
I
the
do-
incident
excuse me,
happened on 8th
Commissioner.
Street, not at the Starburst
I'm
Plaza.
Commissioner Henderson.
Gloria.
That's not my name.
I mean, what is it, Leela, Gloria?
Commissioner
I would
Stamps.
appreciate
Order.
it.
Order.
Go ahead, finish speaking, ma'am. Go ahead, finish. So, my name is Layla Adler. This is my husband, Tim. We're very strong supporters of this community, and again, very supportive of the work you all are doing and the commissioners. But it becomes a problem, just like you were saying, sir, we need to unify. This is not a time to be dissecting and parsing out pieces of the neighborhood and saying this is your problem. It's all of our problems, and I want that to stay central here in this meeting.
That's understandable. That's understandable. I want to say, I'm not saying it in the commissioner's defense, but maybe what she was trying to say in reference to us is that with even though we're right next to each other, 1D and 5D communicate when it's like something that's ongoing and we're looking for a suspect. But usually, you know, we've got our little pocket of crimes going on over here, and it's kind of hard to have that steady communication between us two. That's why when it was mentioned to us, we were like, that happened here, you know, I felt kind of bad about not knowing, you know, exactly
And
what you were
I
thinking of.
completely understand that, but and I'm not directing that towards you, it's labeling things as false information, it's information.
So what did you hear? Sounds of gun? Was it a
It's
sound of
false
gunshots?
It was a report, and there's a blog, a community blog called Frozen Tropics, and they're very good at reporting crime that's happening based on police reports that come out. And that, you know, it's actually one of the standard news sources for our neighborhood. So it is not false information, they've always been corroborated.
False news.
Do you look at the listserv?
Do you know what the exact
Yes, I'm
address?
on the listserv email.
And it's on next door too.
Do you know what
Yeah,
the exact
it's all-
address was of this?
It's 14 Morris, and then what they were talking about, which was the H Street, when whatever he crossed and didn't know, he goes shot in the leg, I guess.
Do you know what the address on the H Street was, Commissioner?
It's 13.
It was actually 1420. I was actually on 8th Street when the call went out, the incident occurred. It had nothing to do with the Starburst. It started on 14th
Is,
and
is, is,
8th
is,
Street.
is this the same incident
It
that
is,
we're
and
talking
ran
about?
on
Okay,
Moore Street.
okay.
This is
There's
why-
also an issue with the shooting at the laundromat, which is 17th and Benning. So even though that's in 6A, it certainly affects our community. And I hope that those who are concerned about unifying, the area for the benefit of safety will come out with Commissioner.
Well, I mean,
Let me finish. We'll come out with Commissioner Gilbert tomorrow for a walkthrough in her area to make it clear that we want it safe for all. But we have to be clear about putting out information that is correct. So there isn't anything at the Starburst. It happened a couple of blocks from the Starburst. The Starburst can't be the focal point for everything. I think that you all have been doing an excellent job policing the Starburst, along with Metro Police, who've been out there on several occasions doing high-intensity patrols. I've been with them, and I will continue to stand with you as you protect our community. Thank you very much.
So bigger picture is, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to get that information if in fact it is. So I would also encourage you to go to, if 1D orders you, find out what PSA it is, and go to that PSA meeting as well.
Yeah, we definitely will.
Commissioner Butler.
I just want to say what Ms. Adler is saying should be well taken. I mean, there needs to be some form of continuity because I frankly overlooked Starbucks Plaza and CVS. I see a lot of criminal activity happening there. Whether it's 1D or 5D, I think to increase level of continuity amongst the police force is probably needed because it doesn't matter when a bullet flies. Someone still gets killed. I mean, Commissioner, I understand no one was killed and we're thankful for that, but it could have easily happened. Someone was certainly shot and it affected 1D, it affected 5D, but you can't splice hairs and say this crime is here and it's particularly in this area. So I think if there is not communication that's occurring already between the higher-ups in this commission or the commanders, maybe there should be.
So can I interject for a minute?
Sure, of
So,
course.
so we do, like, if someone runs across a border, or if there's a crime that happens near a border, we do notify that district, hey, we have a vehicle, this is the lookout. The lookouts do go out to the surrounding jurisdictions, or surrounding districts, I would say. And we also have reports that go out for us internally, of the major crimes that happen within each district every day. So we do get to read that, but for some things, we're not gonna spread our thefts, like even some of the, robberies, like they'll come out on the report, but we're not gonna notify the district unless that person's out and running, and we're still looking for the suspect.
Or it becomes a precipitous problem, that's my
Correct.
only concern, yeah.
This lady is next, and then the lady in the blue. These two ladies are west, one right here up front, and the one in the back in the blue. Those two ladies in the white.
So I noticed when you said there was only one homicide, you didn't list the one on Queen Street with the fire. That hasn't been ruled a homicide, why?
So I have, okay, so homicide detectives come out. So when detectives come out, it's kind of taken out of a patrol level, like someone like myself, it's kind of above my pay grade. I'm gonna cut all pretty ways to say it, but we don't determine the nature of things until the investigation is complete. If that, if that makes any sense, because yeah, it's still under investigation after they see, what is this, cause I don't know all the facts in reference to the Queen Street fire, but it could have been homicide or it could have been something else, you know what I'm saying?
Fox 5 did a report, it's very obviously
Mhm.
homicide.
The classification may have been changed to homicide, but when homicide does that, again, it's one of those things that doesn't necessarily filter down to us. They're gonna handle the investigation in its entirety. So when they develop a suspect, that's when they come back to 5B and say, hey, in reference to this homicide, we are looking for this man or this woman. So, in all likelihood, the classification probably was changed, but it was probably changed at a level much higher than.
Yeah, Fox News has a lot more access to all of that than we do at this level, believe it or not. Sad to say, but that's
Yeah, I
what
mean,
it
they're
goes.
not.
And Sergeant Butler, I also want to bring to your attention A number of my constituents have complained about the 7-Eleven, which I believe is in your single member district.
7-Eleven.
506. Yeah, that's the.
506.
Waiting for
It's a
it.
problem. It really is a problem. My constituents do not feel safe